Today we're upstyling this plain wedding tulle into DIY polka dot tulle for junk journals. Lately I've been seeing this soft bridal tulle used in junk journals like this one here, made by Iris from Inspiration Scrappy. She used it in the center of her journal like this and on her tag like this. And then I got inspired by this beautiful piece. Have a look at how gorgeous this feather is. The top of the tag is what I copied, and I added a piece of my DIY tulle and a piece of the DIY polka dot seam binding to it. Now remember, every new idea is just a mashup or a remix of one or more previous ideas. So back to this tulle trick. I started to look at where can I get some of this polka dot tulle in Australia, and I couldn't find any. I could only find the plain bridal tulle, so I come up with a solution to make my own. It's a little bit rough, otherwise known as it's perfectly imperfect, but in art you've got to explore the world and push your boundaries. Try new things and you'll be able to create something brand new. So here's what I've done. I've used perfect pearls on the tulle, and once this is dry it doesn't come off and you can be fairly rough with it. I'm using the colour cream tulle because it works best with the vintage theme that I mostly use, and I'm using the perfect pearls in the colour cotton ball. What you're going to need is some bridal tulle, a square or a round bowl, an elastic band, and some liquid pearls or perfect pearls. So what I'm doing is I'm stretching it over the top of my round bowl so that it's just even. I'm not pulling it tight like a drum. Now I'm putting my ruler on here to show you that this is the line that I'll be taking to put my liquid pearls on for my dots. And if you're right-handed, you'll start from this side and go across. Now before I start, I'm going to show you what your dots will look like on a cheat sheet. So we've got column 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now I've staggered these dots. So in column 1 and 3, they are even. If you look at column 2 and 4, the second row are even. I'll be doing my demo staggered like this, but you can do all yours even across like this if you prefer. So I'm going to start off with an imaginary straight line across this side of my bowl. And I'm going to do little circles just as if you were doing it on paper. It is a lot different doing these liquid pearls on this tulle than it is on paper. You will start doing this and they might push all the way through the holes in the tulle. Just keep going. If one of your dots disappears down into a hole, just put a little bit more of the liquid pearl on top. Now I'm doing my second row, but I'm not doing it even with my first row. I'm starting in the middle of the dots. Now on my third row, I'm matching it up with my first row. So if you just keep watching your rows as you go along like that, you'll be fine. Otherwise, just dot them on randomly. I'm going to go all the way across to the other side, and now I'm going to leave this to totally dry. Do not be tempted to touch this until it's 100% dry, or you will ruin your work. Now it is totally dry, and I can scrunch this up, I can touch it, and it's not gonna be bothered at all. So now I put it back onto the top of my bowl and I move it across so that I can put some more pearls on the blank bits, and I'm just using some paper tape some masking tape if you've got it. And put your elastic band back over the top and continue on. Once you've finished putting all your dots across the bowl again, leave it to totally dry. Come back, take your tape off and your elastic band and turn your work around and put it back on. Tape it back down again and put your elastic band back on. Continue putting your liquid pearl dots on all the way across. Leave it to dry. Don't worry that it's a bit of a process, but let me tell you, this is quicker than waiting for some tulle to come out to Australia from China. Now you could leave it at this stage, but I'm going to show you what you can do if you want to keep going and put some more dots up to the sides here. Just put your tulle back on your bowl and tape down one end. Have your piece of tulle crossing your bowl without it going over the edge. So it's just sort of hanging there in midair. Then put your elastic band over the top. Now to stop the tulle from sinking down when you start putting your dots on, just get a bit of the tape and put it on the tulle and pull it over the bowl just to create a bridge. Then go along and add the rest of your liquid pearl dots and leave it to dry. You can continue on and do that with all the other bits of spare tulle that hasn't got any dots on it if you want to, but I'm just going to leave it here. Right, so this is a big enough piece for me to make a single page journal or a double page. And this one's on the green and tea-dyed paper, and I think it looks so soft and pretty. And this is deli paper. Again, it's so soft and pretty. And this is what it looks like if you use it as a double page. You could easily sew this into your journal while you're binding your pages together. Now I'm going to cut off a piece of the tulle and I'm going to tie it into the binding thread in the center of the book here, just like Iris done on her journal. So I'm just cutting on an angle just to make the tulle a little more stretchy. You don't have to do it this way, you can cut it straight across. It will work either way. So I'm using my tweezers just to poke the ribbon underneath the binding thread here. Once I've got it under there, I'm just going to tie it in a single knot. That's how easy it is to turn this into an embellishment for the center of your journal. I probably wouldn't use this with baker's twine normally. I just wanted to show you Iris's idea on how she used it. I've also tied a piece onto a bulb pin and I'm going to punch a hole into the corner of my paper bag pocket here and just hang that off the edge just as another very subtle embellishment. And it looks really good on the darker papers. Now using this leftover bit of tulle, I just scrunch it up into random folds and I'm going to clip this on the edge here while I figure out what colour seam binding I want to use. I put this seam binding here and then I remember I've got some polka dot seam binding. If you want to know how I done this polka dot seam binding, I've got a video. I'll put that in the description below as well. I've got a little piece of sari silk here and I'm going to staple these all together. Now because this sari silk's a little bit heavier than most, I'm going to use a bigger stapler. And when I use my bigger stapler, I always flatten it down with a pair of jewellery pliers. Any pliers you got will work. Now here I've added it to a tag that I've already made, so I just tied a piece on the back. Doesn't matter whether you put it on the outside of your journal or on the inside. It looks great just poking out of the center of the book here. Well, I'm going to leave the link to Inspiration Scrappy's journal flip through below for you to go and have a look at, and say hi to Iris and let her know Donna sent you. I'm also going to leave the link to Angie's YouTube channel, Angie Garcia Art. Go and check out her stuff as well. She does the most amazing art you'll see today. She thinks outside the box. Thanks for tuning in, and try new things. You'll be able to create something brand new today. Ciao for now.